In this video, I'll show you how to take a standard 16:9 clip and convert it into vertical video for social media. Welcome back to the channel. My name is CJam, and here we are inside of Adobe Premiere Pro. This is the software that we're going to be using for this video edit today. Obviously, you knew that. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and click New Project, right? Then I want to name my project here Vertical Video from HD Clip. Right, let's go ahead and click create. You can also choose your project location, where you want to save your file, but let's just go ahead and click create. Right, here we are. Here's our default blank workspace. The first thing I want to do is create a vertical sequence for my social media video, right? My social media reel or YouTube short, wherever we're going to be placing it. And when you're editing a video, when you're in Premiere Pro and you want to create something, you feel that urge to make something, the first thing you need to know is the placement of your video. Where will the video be viewed? Will it be viewed on a phone primarily? Will it be living on a website, on YouTube? Will it be a YouTube short or a long form YouTube video? Those are the things that you need to think about before you even come inside of Premiere Pro, right? So today, we know we want to make a vertical video, right? So what I'm going to be doing is going up top to file and then new and then sequence, and we're going to be looking under our social media group right here and selecting the social media portrait 916. You'll see I can do a 4:5 portrait or a social media square 1:1. Let's go ahead and click OK. And here we have our sequence, and you can see we have our blank template here, right? What I'm going to be doing next is switching to my vertical workspace here in Premiere Pro. I'm just going to come up top here and select vertical. That's right next to essentials, or I can go to window and then workspace and then vertical. So here we are inside of my vertical workspace, and what I'm going to be doing next is just importing the clips that I want to work with today. I got these clips from Envato Elements. This video is sponsored by Envato Elements. We'll talk a little bit more about them as we go further on in this tutorial, and I'll put direct links to each of these clips down in the video description. So if you guys want to watch along and edit along with me, you can do that as well. So let's continue. I'm going to create a folder here by right clicking new bin, and then let's name it dancing footage, right? And then, well, that's because the footage that I'm going to be using today is of a dancer, right? So let's go ahead and find the footage on my computer and just drag them in. Here I have all my footage here, and let me just go ahead and just drag them over here to my folder like so, and you'll see they're all popped in here, right? What I'm going to be doing next is just clicking on this group here, and I'll get another bin. I'll get my bin over here as another tab, and then I'm just going to switch the view to icon view so I can actually see the clip. No, the goal behind this edit is to just have a silent video, no music, no audio. You can also add audio if you want by getting it from Envato Elements, but what I'm going to be doing is just leaving the track mute so I can add audio on Instagram when I'm uploading this as a reel, right? So let's go ahead and just add the first clip here. Remember, these video clips are 16:9, and we're going to conform them down to a vertical video. So let's go ahead and find this first clip here, which is this wide shot here. Can I make this a little bit bigger for you guys? Wait, let me just come back and then let me zoom in on the slider here so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So first things first, I'm going to wait. That's perfect. That should be a lot better now, right? So what I'm going to be doing is just dragging in this wide shot first like so, and it's going to ask me if I want to keep the settings or change the settings. No, this is where you can change the settings to match the clips that you're working with. That would also be a good idea if you're not too sure of the frame rate of the clips that you're working with versus the frame rate of what your sequence is, right? The sequence that we made earlier, right? So what I'm going to be doing is keeping existing settings and showing you how to change it. So these clips right here, I believe they're all 25 frames per second. The sequence that I created here, I did not check what the frame rate was, but naturally it would be 30 frames per second. And if you want to check, all you have to do is come up top to sequence and then sequence settings, and you'll see it here. As I mentioned, it's 30 frames per second. And if you wanted to change that, all you have to do is click the drop down here and choose 25 frames per second, right? So now that we're past the whole frame rate thing, let's go ahead and just adjust our clips to fit in this vertical frame for social media, right? Now the first thing I'm going to be doing is just, let me zoom in on this some more so you guys can see this, right? So this is my first clip here. As you can see, if I click on it, I get my effects controls here, which is what I want. Let's go to motion and let's just see if we hit the scale here. Let's just see what's happening. Let's see how much wiggle room we have to work with. It was at 100%. If we come down to 90, we can see that it fits perfectly with no black bars on the edges. You know, if I were to go like this, you'd see that the video would not have covered the entirety of the frame, right? The viewing area of the video. So let me just go ahead and hit Control Z. Know what I can do. This is where the magic happens when you're creating vertical videos, right? You can adjust the X and Y coordinates here, the 540 and the 960, and you can move the video around as you see fit. Or you can just click motion and just click on the video and move it around, right? But what I want to do is I'm going to change the 540 a little bit to about, let's say, 400 and just move our dancer over some more. We can even do 375, or you can just hover over it, click and drag to change the values if you want, right? So that's cool. Wait, let me just change this from half to a quarter, because these video clips that I got from Envato Elements are so heavy. I believe they're all ProRes, you know, concerning their codecs. They're just filled with so much quality, and they're all 4K on my computer. So here's our first clip. If I were to go ahead and play this, you'll see that our model is fixing her shoes. Right now, right here where we have it paused, let me go ahead and just drag in the end of the clip like so, or I could hit C and just cut it with my razor tool, then delete it, right? Now I want to have a second clip. Let's go to the close-up of her shoes. I don't even know if shoes is the right term for these things on her feet. I'm not a ballet person. I'm sure there's a proper term for it, but let's go ahead and hit the scale. Let's do about 90 and see what we get. That was where we were with that last clip, right? So as she's tying here, let's press play by hitting spacebar. You'll see that we switch to this close-up shot, right? And it's a little bit cut off. Let's get more of her feet in here. Let's go from 540 here under motion to about 400 again. You see her ankle is coming in some more. Let's go like 350. Let's go even more. Let's go 275, right? That looks cool. What I'm gonna do is let me just bring this second footage up in another channel, in another track, sorry. That way you guys can see and differentiate the first track, the second track, etc, etc. I can also take it further by just labeling it a different color. Just going iris, right? You can see, you can clearly distinguish between them, right? Now let's go ahead and hit spacebar to play. Cuts to that second clip nicely. Let's stop right here. Let's import a third clip of her just inhaling here, right? And let's just drag it in the third track and press play. And it cuts to her like getting ready, you know, getting her mind right, you know, getting her focus on. Let's hit play again by hitting spacebar. And right as it cuts here, as she opens her eye, right, I have another clip here, as you can see, that I want to use. So let me go ahead and drag that in. It's a little bit of a tighter shot. If I were to move it over some more, you can see like, so I'm just dragging, clicking and dragging, because when I hover right here over my values, you see I get that double-sided arrow, right? See that? If I were to just adjust some more, you see it comes in closer, right? So we're going from here to this medium shot and then to the close-up shot, right, as she opens her eyes. But this clip also opens her eyes, right? So let's align both of these. Let me zoom in on my timeline here. Let me change the color of this fourth one to rose. Let me do the third one to mango. And to do that, all I'm doing is right clicking, going to label and just changing the color, right? That way we can clearly distinguish between each of the clips that we're working with. So what I want to do for this third one here is I want to cut to the fourth one right as she's about to open her eyes, like so. So I need to find where on this fourth clip she opens her eyes. Let me drag this down. So she opens her eyes. I'm just holding my playhead by clicking and just dragging it. She opens her eyes, her eyes. Why did I put a H on that? My gosh. So she opens her eyes right here, right? So let's go ahead and hit M on my keyboard to add a marker to the track, right? So when we see this marker here, we'll know that she opens her eyes right here. So what I'm going to be doing is just hitting C for my razor tool, cutting off that front portion, then hitting delete, right? Now we can align it to where she opens her eyes on the third clip right here, right? So let me click and highlight the third clip, hit M again to create a marker. Now we can align both markers like so, and that should give us a semi-decent transition. What do you guys think? But let me save my project. Control and S to save all that we've been doing so far. Always save your project. Now let's continue by hitting spacebar to play and see what we've been getting so far. See that? Nice inhale. Let's see what the fourth clip gives us. Perfect. Almost perfect. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? How does it look? It's perfect if you ask me, but what I would tweak is I would just like adjust the positioning of this clip like so, both there, right? So that when it transitions, her eyes are almost in the same spot. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back to the fourth clip, bring down the opacity, and then I'm going to try and align the fourth clip to the third clip. Just so that when it switches, my eye doesn't go from here to here because her eyes are in like two different spots. That will help my transition to be much more natural. So the viewer doesn't have to like shift their focus and like pull something here. They're just naturally viewing it, and it seems like a really seamless transition, even though there's a cut, right? And even though it's two different clips. So what I'm going to be doing is I've turned down the opacity. Now let me hit motion and let me just manually click and move the tighter shot to about somewhere there, right? So if I were to go ahead and bring the opacity back up to 50%, you can click and enter a value, or you can just use the double arrowed sliders, right? So let me turn this off and see what we have. But see this? I'm seeing the underside of that clip, right? What I'm going to be doing is just like hitting the scale a little. Let's do like 110. Yeah, that looked like it worked. Let me touch back down the opacity to see if we're still aligned. Yeah, it still looks good. If you're following at this point and I'm not confusing you, let me know in the comments that you're following. Just type following, right? Let me just hit space bar here and see what we got. That looks much better and much more pleasing. Control and S to save. Let's continue. That looks much cooler if you ask me. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Now, let me just tuck in the third clip so it doesn't come back up at when the playhead gets here. You see like how the second clip comes back up? Let me just tuck it in like so. Now we can add our fifth and our sixth clip if we want. Like, this is already cool what we've been able to get so far with these stock footage clips from Envato Elements. I didn't film this myself. I got it from Envato Elements, and I'm able to create something for you guys. If I wanted to show this in my portfolio, you can use it and say, hey, I'm able to edit video. I got these clips. Well, you wouldn't tell your client that you got the clips from Envato Elements. Don't do that. But you're able to show that, hey, I can edit video. I have a portfolio because this can go in your portfolio, right? And that's one of the cool things I like about Envato Elements, because there's no limit to how much I can download, right? I can download unlimited amount of clips of this one scene. If they had 1,000 clips of this one model dancing here, I can download all 1,000 of them and use in my tutorial, right? So let's continue now. We're adding our fifth and our sixth clip. Sixth clip, right? So here we are with the wide shot. I really like this one here when I was downloading them. So let's go ahead and see what we got here, what we're working with. This one is almost perfectly centered, so we don't have to do too much, and the camera is moving pretty cool. Let's end it right there. How long is this clip? And if I just hover over it, its duration says 4 seconds. That's a little bit too long, you know. concerning attention grabbing on the internet. So let me just reduce it a little bit like so. And then let's just hit this last clip here, this 6th one. Let's label it and then go forest for the label. Right click, label. Let's go teal. No, that's too close to the previous one. Let's go brown. That way we can clearly see the orders of our clips. Right? And you don't have to be this crazy with your timeline. I'm just doing this for the purposes of this tutorial, right? You can easily just leave them all as is, right? Let's go ahead and hit play. Right? Love this shot with the sun beaming in. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so we need to do some adjusting here. She's not even in the frame. So let's hit this 6th clip. Let's go ahead and hit motion, or you can just adjust the values here, whichever works for you. But let's just move it over like so. And let's just scrub through and see. All right, so she's still a little bit too far over. So let's start here. Let me just hit M to create a marker on the clip. So I know I want to start here. Let's hit C for my razor tool. Let's cut it there. Let's delete the front portion here. Move the clip back a little bit. So let's move the let's adjust the motion. Sorry. Let's just bring her back over to the left side a bit so we get a little bit of that sun. All right, Control and S to save. Let's go back to the beginning and then let's hit spacebar and see what we got without any music. All right, it's a very cool transition to the feet. Did you see that punch in from the? That is perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's go back one more time. Perfect. Whatever that is. And then the sunlight, the beaming sunlight. And we can just like end the clip right here. We can do like a dip to white or something, like something very generic, right? If I were to go in and go to effects and then like video transition. But is it transition? Dissolve, dip to white, and just do like something really generic like that. See that? That is so weird. But yeah, like that's where your video ends. That's where my video ends. Like I'm not going to do anything else to this. We played it from the top. Let's do it one more time. Control and S to save. Hit spacebar to play and see what we got without any music. Because remember, you're going to add music on Instagram, right? That transition is perfect. Perfect. All I have to do now is hit enter to render out anything. It's all rendered already. All I have to do is go up top to export here, or you can go to file and then export if you want. I normally just click export, and here's where you can select your presets for your export, similar to how we selected our presets when we were creating our sequence in the beginning, right? So what I want to do first, I needed to give my sequence a name, so I can go back to edit, go back in my project bin here, and this that said sequence 1, we didn't give it a name. We named the project, but we didn't give this one a name. So let's go ahead and choose it by double clicking and just writing dancer dash lspv tutorial lspv vertical video tutorial, right? Enter. Now if we go back, you will see that it's right here as well. If we go back to export, you'll see it's also here. All I have to do now is come down to video, or I can go to preset here and choose from the drop down. I can choose match source, right? What I normally do is just go ahead and come down to video and just click match source, because Premiere Pro automatically conform this for me. What was there earlier, you saw those black spaces. What was there earlier is it would have created a 16:9 video with the black spaces here, because what we created is a vertical video, but that's not what we want. We want a vertical video that we can just upload to Instagram. So let's go back down and click match source, and you can go do more adjustments here. You can render at maximum bit depth. You can come down even further. and increase the bit rate of your export. And all I have to do next is just click export and it will work for me. So that's how you create a vertical video from a standard 16:9 clip. So let me know, have you ever done this before in Premiere Pro? Did you know that you can do it in Premiere Pro, and how easy was this for you watching along? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, I'll put direct links to these clips that we used here, and remember to check out Environment Elements by clicking the first link in this video description to get unlimited downloads and 70% off a month's subscription from their website. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to check out more tutorials just like this one, click right at the screen to watch this video right now.